Today's morning session, we have Dr. Nandini Dholpete as our guest speaker. She is a botanist. She is currently associated with Rewatch, Arunachal Pradesh as a visiting faculty. Her research works include genetic studies and phytochemical analysis. She has served as a consultant for FRLHT, Bengaluru, faculty at PES University, Department of Biotechnology. She is a recipient of Best Women Scientist Award from Gulbarga University and also Best Young Scientist Award at Karnataka Science Congress, VTU Belagavi. Dr. Nandini has trained government officials, publics, NGOs on biodiversity and conservation. She's also served as evaluator for rural development and Panchayat Raj for sanitation, rainwater harvest programs in Karnataka. She is a consultative group member for Geographical Indicator Examination, Government of India, and has helped rural communities to file GI applications. She facilitated e-networks, updated information under Government of India, GEF UNPD Medical Plan Project to promote communication across stakeholders. Dr. Nandini has also authored books in Kannada and English. She's participated in public talks, radio, TV programs, published scientific and general articles to bring awareness on biodiversity and to create awareness on traditional knowledge. Ma'am, we are very delighted to have you here, and it's a welcome back again to Oxford College of Engineering. On behalf of the management, the principal, HOD, staffs and students, we welcome you to this STTP Phase 2 program. It's a welcome, ma'am. And over to you, ma'am. Yeah, over to you, ma'am. You can take over the session.
Thank you very much for inviting me. I hope I will be able to share some of my experiences with you, and you will get a kind of awareness about what is happening in this area of this geographical indication. So probably you must all aware about geographical indication, but not given so much importance or a kind of observation so far may not have happened. So now when I keep speaking, probably you will be able to recall the goods that you have observed or experienced even. So how they are important in terms of business establishment, or if somebody has knowledge in that particular area, how they can take it up as a business model. So I wish to show a presentation. So that it will help you to identify the goods and products which you have seen already and may be familiar with individual goods. So are you seeing the screen? My computer
yes,
screen?
ma'am. Screen is shared. PPT is not seen.
Okay. Are you seeing now?
Yes, ma'am. If you could put it on a slideshow mode.
Sure, sure. Is it okay now? Is it okay? Are you seeing?
Yeah. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So what do you observe here in this particular picture? Can anyone tell me? Please, I want to be interactive rather than, like monologue.
ಚನ್ನಪಟ್ಟಣದ ಗೊಂಬೆ ಮೇಡಮ್.
ಇದು ಒಂಥರ ಅದೇ ತರ ಇದೆ, ಆದ್ರೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಬೋರ್ಡ್ ಇದೆ ನೋಡಿ, ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಆ ಪಿಕ್ಚರ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕಿನ್ಹಾಲ್ ಆರ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಇದೆ. ಸೊ ಕಿನ್ಹಾಳದ ಗೊಂಬೆಗಳು, ದಟ್ಸ್ ಹೌ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಫೇಮಸ್. These are the dolls from Kinhal. So this picture I have recently taken from the exhibition which happened in the Palace Orchard just 2 weeks back. So this is one of the art form, traditional art form, which is registered under geographical indications. Okay, so let us try to hear the story of this particular toys. So this Kinhala is a small village which is near Hampi, and these artisans, they say that they moved to this particular village after the collapse of Vijayanagara dynasty, that is today's Hampi. So earlier they were patronized by Vijayanagara rulers, but later on they had to, find their livelihood, and for their survival they moved to other villages. But Kinhal, even today you can find many number of individuals, artisans, who are residing and practicing this particular art form. And you can see the lady holding a tray of fruits and vegetables. So this is very popular from Kinhala. These fruits and vegetables, they appear as if they are very natural, but they are made out of wood. And on the other side, you can see the picture of a god sitting on a kirata, something like that. So the these particular dolls of fruits and vegetables, or even some toys and gods, goddesses. So these are some of the traditional uh, art forms they prepare, and they are selling it for their livelihood. They are called chitrakaras. Their family name ends with chitrakara, artisans. So in 2007 there was a dispute which happened. uh, some people from Scotland, they came here, and they learned this particular art form, and they moved back. When they moved back, they started their own toys. So nobody was aware of all these things, so they called it as Glasgow Kinhal toys. But later on, somebody who observed all this, and they pointed out how it can be Glasgow Kinhal toys, because Kinhala is one particular village, and only these artisans know how to make it, and they are doing it as their traditional art since many years. And how something, a new thing, can come up like Glasgow Kinhal toys. So nobody understood the consequences, but in short, we can understand these rural villagers who are practicing their art, they don't know the market at national or international level, and they will be losing their business if, in case, if they have to venture into this business at the international level, because they don't know how to communicate, how to take their goods to other parts of the world. So later on, this dispute was settled, and they have withdrawn their goods from the market. That is, Glasgow Kinhal toys was withdrawn, and this is registered under geographical indications. Okay, so let us understand what is this geographical indication and how it will protect uh, the art form or any geographical indications goods by law. Okay, so in 1972, let us try to understand the history of this, why this geographical indications registration has come into existence. So there are certain conventions which happened, and at that time, at Stockholm, Sweden, hosted the United Nations Conference on Human and Environment, which was attended by 113 delegates, and that time our Prime Minister Srimati Indira Gandhi represented India. So this conference raised a generation's awareness on an issue which was not much discussed earlier at the global environment. The Stockholm Conference secured a permanent place for the environment on the world's agenda and led to the establishment of United Nations Environment Program. So under this, Article 1, 2, and 10 of Paris Convention in 1883, for the protection of industrial property, geographical indications are covered as an element of IPRs. Later on, there were several rounds of GATT agreements, General Agreement on Trade and Tariff. There were several negotiations which happened. And in 1994, there were 123 countries which participated and signed for the GATT agreement. So under this, another agreement which has come into existence, which is called as TRIPS agreement, trade related aspects of intellectual property rights in 1995. And for this agreement, 162 countries, they were parties. They are also covered under the Article 22 and 24. India, as a member of World Trade Organization, enacted the Geographical Indications of Goods Act in 1999, and it has come into force with the effect from 15 September 2003. So this is the background of how this geographical indication has come into existence at the international level, and how India adapted this particular geographical indication under intellectual property rights. So this is one of the outcome of TRIPS agreement. So a geographical indication is a sign used on products that have a specific geographical origin. This is what is said at the Kinhal ties, right? And possess qualities or a reputation that are due to that origin. Earlier, one of you told it is Channapatna ties, right? So Channapatna ties are produced only in the Channapatna region. That is a particular town, right? So if you do similar toys sitting in Bangalore, it cannot become Channapatna toys, but you can sell it here, but you cannot make it here. So this is the essence of geographical indication. So it is restricted, the production is restricted to the particular area, and it is popular due to its origin. So originating in a given place, in addition, the qualities, the characteristics or reputation of the product should be essentially due to the place of origin. So similar thing you can identify with Mysore silk, right? So Mysore silk is produced only at the KCSC factory, but it cannot be produced somewhere else in Delhi, Mumbai, right? So this is popular, the particular goods is popular because of its geographical origin, and the qualities and the characteristics, they have attracted the people since many years. So since the qualities depend on the geographical place of production, there is a clear link between the products and its original place of production. Okay. So later on, when the Kinhal toys got registration, there are several activities which were undertaken, like registration of individual artisans and giving them some kind of training about the production, what is the current customer requirement, how they can slightly modify their traditional art form to meet the customer requirement, and how they can sell even online. So all these kind of training programs were given, and today they are able to sell it even online also. So let us understand some of the popular GI goods. So you must have heard about Darjeeling tea. So the tea which is produced only in the Darjeeling area. So even there are more than 300 tea gardens, but each tea garden is registered, and the tea which is produced only from that area can be considered as Darjeeling tea. So they have formed an association, and they can use this logo, and only they can sell. Those who are registered under this, they can sell it as Darjeeling tea. But if tea is produced somewhere else outside the Darjeeling area, let us say somewhere outside in Assam, if it is produced, okay, though it is neighboring, they cannot sell it as a Darjeeling tea, right? Then California almonds, they are very popular. So only the almond which is produced, and if they are registered under that particular group, they can sell it as California almonds. Then Cafe de Colombia, this is from Colombia. So coffee which is produced in that region, they can only use this logo, they can only sell in that name. Then this is very, very popular, isn't it? The other picture, what is it? Are you watching, listening?
Yes, ma'am, we can hear you.
Yes. What is the other picture which is showing? Can you see? Can you read what is written there?
Darjeeling tea, California almonds,
Hmm.
Cafe de Colombia,
Yeah.
then Wake Clicquot Ponsardin.
Yeah. This is champagne from France. Okay. So this champagne, you are all very familiar with the name champagne. So this is produced from France. So only if it is produced, manufactured in that particular area, it can be called with that particular name. So this is how the origin of the goods is identified and protected under GI registration. So let us take up some other local examples. So here on the left hand side, you can see the picture, a lady holding a darri, jamkhana. Can you see the picture on that? Very creative, artistic, colorful.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Can you see the picture? Identify the motives. Very prominent motive. ಡಿಸೈನ್ಸ್ ಏನು ಕಾಣ್ತಾ ಇದೆಯಾ?
Yes, ma'am. Jamkhana artist.
ಏನ್ ಡಿಸೈನ್ ಇದೆ, ಏನ್ ಮೋಟಿವ್ ಇದೆ ಅದ್ರ ಮೇಲೆ?
Peacocks, ma'am.
Yes, very good. So this is Navilu. So this is from the place Navalagunda. Okay, see how the name very much associated with the motives on the Dari, Jamkana. So Navalagunda, and it is so creative. So people can sit on both sides of Jamkana and they can play. What is that game? Pagade, Alba. Can you see that plus mark in the center? So that is
Yes, ma'am.
Pagade. Okay. So the dice they play. So this is how it is very creative and very attractive. So Navalagunda Dari, again, it is a registered goods under geographical indications. Then you can see the jasmine. See, this is Mysore jasmine, which is registered, and the red color banana is Kamalapurada Kembale. Kamalapura is near which place? North of Karnataka. That comes under Hyderabad, Karnataka region, Gulbarga. That is Kamalapura. Then below that yellow color one is Nanjangudi in Rasbale. And another one is again the food item, that is Peda, Dharwad Peda. So all these are geographical indication registered goods. So Karnataka is leading with 45 registration, and another 2 are logo which are registered under GIs. Okay. So there are other goods, like you must have heard about Banarasi silk, right? Then what are the other thing? Ladies, they are generally familiar with that. Lucknowi chicken work. Can you tell me some of the goods which are very popular and registered? You all know that. When you go for buying the sari, you insist on that, right?
Udupi Arakkal sarees.
Yes, Udupi sire. Then
Banarasi saree.
Mm-hmm.
Then
Puchampalli ಕೇಳಿದಿರಾ?
Jaipuri Kalamkari sarees, ma'am.
ಹಾ, Puchampalli ಸೀರೆ, ಬಾಂಧನಿ. ಎಸ್. ಹಾ, ಆಮೇಲೆ ತಮಿಳುನಾಡು ತುಂಬಾ ಪಾಪ್ಯುಲರ್ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ, ಕಾಂಚೀವರಂ ಸ್ಯಾರಿ, ವೆರಿ ಪಾಪ್ಯುಲರ್, ರೈಟ್? So like this, there are many goods, either if you consider textile or even if it is agriculture produce, fruits, vegetables, which are very popular due to its geographical origin. So there is a system, a special system under the law, which is called sui generis system, which protects these GIs. So using a collective or certification marks, it means because family members or a group of villagers, they know how to produce it. It is not one person's creation. In case of patents, maybe there is one person or there are two people who have created something, right? So that is an individual right. But here it is collective right. The right, geographical indication, registration, and certification right goes to the people who are participating in the production in a particular region. So methods focus on business practices, including administrative, product approval, and scheme. For example, if it is a food product, then you know that nowadays FSSI is very much compulsory. If it is some other goods, even like ISI mark is very much important. So how you keep the quality of goods and how you can focus on business practice. So that is very much important to carry on with the production and marketing. So always to keep intact with the customers, the customer satisfaction is very important. Why people go and buy Mysore silk, even there are other similar uh, goods are available, because of its quality, reputation, right? So there is a requirement to maintain the quality and reputation. So that is how the whole process of GI registration, it is meant for to make a proper business practice, so that there are prospect for the producers. So judiciary and legal protection, if it is registered under geographical indications, are as per the act. uh, if somebody is trying to sell a false GI or somebody a fake good in the name of GI registered goods, then there will be a penalty, and it may go up from 6 to 3 years of imprisonment, and from 50,000 to 2 lakhs rupees, uh, you know, penalty, or it may go higher also based on the reputation of the goods and the market value of the goods. So there are many such examples which happened earlier. Many shops, they used to keep the board of Mysore silk earlier, but now you cannot see that. You can find KSIC only from the registered proprietors, or only from the KSIC showroom. So like that it happened with many goods right now. So there are two uh, sections. One is registration of the goods, that is considered as part A, and another one is registration of the individual producers. Okay, they are called as authorized users. So if you are thinking about registration of the goods, then you have to prepare the application how that particular goods uh, qualify as a GI goods or a GI product. Okay, what are the reputations, what are the technicalities, where it is produced, how it is produced, from where they get the raw material, and who are the customers. So all this information, historical documents, since because GI cannot be created, whatever existing GIs are there, only they can be registered, right? So it should have a history. GI, if you say something which is popular, since how many years it is popular, 100, 200 years, 500 years. So there should be a history, how it originated and how it's modified over the period and why it is very popular. So all this information needs to be charted. Then all the supporting documents like a map of where that particular goods is prepared. So all these needs to be given along with a fee of 5,000 rupees for um, filing the application. So once the application is filed and examination is conducted and it is granted, party, the certificate is granted, then the members, means the people who are in the process of production, so they have to be like artisans, okay? So they have to be registered under this. So that is called as individual membership for that. So the whole idea of GI registration is to support the traditional knowledge, okay? Uh, and to bring the people together who have similar knowledge, who are practicing in a particular area, and bring them to do a collective business, to promote them to do the collective business. That is the whole idea of geographical indication registration, so that they can implement the quality control mechanism. They can source the raw material collectively instead of individually. Then they can have a standard protocol for processing the products, goods, and labeling and selling, so that they can do the business in a collective way. So a few years back, this Alfonso mango, you all must have tasted this. This is grown in the west coast, that Ratnagiri, Goa region. And so this is grown in the west coast. So this is very popular for its fragrance, aroma, taste, even the size, color. Uh, but it is grown in different orchards, not in individual orchard, right? So there was some problem with the quality, quarantine problems. So because of that, the export to European Union was rejected that particular point of time. That is in, I think, in 2013. So later next year, they were able to understand the problems and they tried to, bring the quality, and so that they improved the again business once again. So always it is in any business, it is necessary to understand the consumer expectation. So starting from sourcing of the raw material, processing, and then finally packing, there should be a transparency. So even in case of any complaint from the customer, if there is any problem, then it will be easy to trace where the problem is happening. That's how from starting from sourcing the raw material to labeling and delivering the goods, there should be a transparency. So any problem associated with the goods, any complaints from the customer can be easily traced back and it can be rectified. So here the major challenge is most of these people who uh, produce these GIs, they are from very rural background. They may not be literates, and in the country like this, there are different languages, dialects, cultural differences. It is very difficult to make them understand the importance of this particular GI registration and to bring them under one particular umbrella to do the business collectively, and to make them understand the customer expectations at the state level, national level, regional level, and international level. Though certain goods are very popular, uh, very attractive, but to make them, all these people, to come under one banner and to make them understand the importance and implications of GI registration is quite challenging. So it is necessary for the people who are involved in it to go to the people, talk to them in the language which they can understand, make them understand the importance, implications, and prospects of this particular registration. So not just going and giving regular training, but sometimes we have to get involved with even like songs or even street plays through which we can make them understand the importance of this GI registration. And even there are middlemen also who source the material and who sell it in other markets. So it is necessary to talk to them, understand them. If there is any grading, for example, if you consider the raw material, it will be grading. There will be grade 1, grade 2, grade 3, or grade A, grade B, grade C. So all these things, technicalities, we need to understand to and make them to convince about the geographical indications registration. So when I was working with this Uttarakhand, Tejpat, what is Tejpat? Here, yes.
Bay leaves.
Bay leaves, which is very popular here. Generally, people call it as biryani leaf or something. So this is cinnamon leaf. Here in South India, we use bark, chekke, alva, lavanga. That's what we use here in South India. But in North, in the Trans-Himalayan region, these leaves are very popular, and it is sold in Delhi market for a higher price. The leaves from Uttarakhand. Of course, even in other parts like Nepal and even like Darjeeling area, uh, you can find this Tejpat, but Tejpat from Uttarakhand is very popular. It is sold at the higher rate. So why? Because of the aroma. Okay, that is grade 1 quality. So like this, it is very popular, and it was collected during the season, that is during June. They start with one particular star, ಗೊತ್ತಲ್ಲ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರಲ್ಲ ಈ ನಕ್ಷತ್ರದ ದಿವಸ ಶುರು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅದನ್ನ ಹಾರ್ವೆಸ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಕಲೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಅಂತ ಹಾಗೆ. So only for some 20-25 days they collect this because it's all seasonal activity. It is not throughout the year they do it. They can't do it. So the collection happens only in a particular number of days, generally in the month of June. So they collect and they transport it to other markets, and it is sold. So these people are not aware for what particular price it is sold at Dehradun or Delhi market. So when we were working with these people, we could able to understand many, challenges this local people face, and also the middleman, the traders, and the market at the other regions. So we could able to register these geographical indications of Tejpath and also created a logo. You can see the logo picture here, two mountains and two leaves. And also these many documents are prepared and filed along with the application. And also there are some questions. Once we file the application, there is uh, they ask certain question. You have written like this, so what is this? So like this, from the GI registry there were questions. So is given to it. So you can see here on the left hand side in the certification, Government of India Geographical Indication Registry. The registration is given to Tejpath Utpadak Samiti. So for this, a particular society has been created and named as Tejpath Utpadak Samiti. And this is the map. This is not the Uttarakhand map. Okay, complete Uttarakhand map. This is only the area of production. Okay, this map which is submitted to GI registry. So light long and each and every district, taluk, village which comes under that, that is marked here. So this particular registration, now it has more than 500 people who are practicing GI registered Tejpath business under this GI tag. So the benefits of this GI registration are, once it is registered, it is a branding activity, a kind of branding activity. So it ensures the quality, so they can demand a premium price. It assists in better redistribution, that is, it contributes to value addition in the production supply chain from farm to consumers. It brings value to the region of origin, right? Then it empowers the producer community with power of bargaining. So earlier, before registration, the middleman used to come and the buyer used to say some amount and get these goods. And these producers, they don't know, the collectors, they don't know for what particular price it is sold at other market areas. But now they know what is the real price because of the intervention of GI registration, and they can bargain how much they can give, right? And they can also make some guidelines for collection, because sustainable collection is very important. There should be some kind of regeneration, reproduction of this natural material, which is very much important for sustainable business practices. Because if they collect everything, because there is too much demand, if they collect everything this year, then the plants may not survive for the next year. It may get infected, or whatever diseases it can get due to too much collection, and they may not get it next year or further in future. So sustainable collection, scientific method of collection practices are implemented, because once the GI registration starts, so it increases production and creates local jobs. We all have experienced, seen this since 2021. So when there was a lockdown, there are many people from other parts of the country who came here, especially in cities like Bangalore, Mumbai, for some labor job. They had to go back, right? After going back, what they will do? Why they came all the way here? So these are some of the questions. So these people, the rural people, village people, if they can get some livelihood opportunity, job opportunity in their own place, why they have to come all the way and end up themselves as laborers, right? So it prevents rural exodus. Let us consider the example of this Puchampalli saree. So it is quite popular. The Puchampalli is a village. Now it has become a town, big town. So it is very popular for this weaving of the saris, Puchampalli saris. The motifs, designs are very, very particular, like elephants and the parrots, the horse. So these are very popular motifs on the sari and the kind, the way they weave is very, very popular. So, but over the period, they could not market to other parts, and the income was very less because to weave one sari, it is all hand woven. So, to weave one sari, they will take minimum 8 to 10 days, and maximum they can earn like 800 to 1000 rupees. So, this is not that attractive. So, over the period, they went to other parts of the country, town, and they started doing some other thing instead of weaving. But with the intervention of GI registration by the Department of Handicrafts, it attracted many weavers to go back to their, original mm, weaving practice. And today he can see Puchampalli has more than 10,000, uh, families who are involved in weaving. They went back to their weaving practices. If you really wish to see, you can go there and see how the business is happening, how many shops are there now, and there is a central facility where the weavers who didn't have their own loom, that is provided, and many training programs are given for them. So initially, to improve the business, this particular Puchampalli sari was given as uniform for Air India that time to gear up the business. So because of that, later again they were able to gain the benefits of publicity, popularity throughout the country. So the rights of the registered proprietor are, we can summarize it as the authorized users. They can use the logo, GI mark, so that they can ensure that the particular goods is a GI registered goods. So the only people who are registered, that Part B registration I informed you. So those who are registered under that, they can use the logo. They can practice this particular production, and they can sell it as a registered goods. So let us consider what is happening in other parts of the world. In European Union, again, this GI is considered as three distinct classes. So the protected designation of origin, the protected designation of origin, PDO they call it, okay? Then protected geographical indication, then traditional specialties guaranteed. So simple example here I can tell you is the Davanagere Benne Dose. There are many hotels in Bangalore. So that comes under traditional specialties guaranteed. So the origin of place doesn't come to notification here, but the traditional specialties are guaranteed even if it is produced, manufactured outside the GI area. So this is how they have classified. And protected designation of origin. So it is definitely produced in that particular geographical origin, okay, in that geographical area. Then protected geographical indication means it says that it is produced in that particular area. So 1, 2 are somewhat similar, but 3 is slightly different. But in India, this differentiation is not there. GI is a GI, so it should be produced in a particular area by the registered artisans or whoever manufactures. Okay. So as of May 2016 data, there were 332 existing spirits name registration. Spirits is alcoholic beverages which are registered under European Union. So again, this tequila from South America, Mexico, it's quite popular. You must be aware of all these. So this tequila, which is produced from South America, and it is quite popular throughout the world. Agave Americana is the plant from which this particular beverage is made. So in later in America, they started selling some alcoholic beverage in the name of tequila. So there was a complaint filed at the U.S. Department of Patent and indications, trademark and patent registration. So they're given the result that when this particular case was filed at USPTO, they said that tequila for distilled spirits, namely the spirits distilled from the blue Tequilina Weber variety of agave plant. So this is the agave plant. Agave americana is the plant from which it is registered. It said that so this particular tequila name can be used only for the beverages which are produced from this agave americana plant, from which is made only in Mexico. Okay, and if it is produced outside, they cannot use the name tequila. Okay, though it is produced in other parts, though they can use the same agave americana in other parts, just slightly, outside this Mexico, if it is produced, then it cannot be called as tequila. You can call it as any other name, but tequila is the name which is produced only from this particular agave americana from Mexican region. Okay, so this is how once the registration is done, it is protected throughout the world. So can you see this now? The mango, the papaya.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So these are the pictures I have taken last year in America. So, in northern hemisphere, mostly North America, Canada, all these places, the production is not happening throughout the world because of the, environmental, the temperature differences. So most of these goods come from Southern America. So can you see this mango? This is from Mexico. Okay. So, and here you can see this is from papayas from Guatemala. So they're going more for towards this trademark registration rather than GI registration, because GI registration provides a lot of support, but sometimes it is very difficult to prove whether it is GI or not. So if they want to acquire, from goods from broad geographical area, better to go for this trademark registration. So in America, trademark is quite popular than rather than GI registration. So this is quite popular. The saris, different types of textiles from West Bengal. Can you see here the first one? Can you read the name?
Baluchari saris.
Yes, Baluchari sari. You can see the designs also, I guess. So these saris, if we had, offline program, it would have been much better. So you could have seen all these. So this particular Baluchari, it depicts the stories from Ramayana and Mahabharata on the sari. It comes in weaving. And here you can see the lady who is doing some embroidery, hand embroidery, right? So it and the other thing is Nakshi Kanta. Again, it's a hand embroidery. So this Nakshi Kanta sire, Baluchari sire. So all these are even today alive, and these are GI registered goods from West Bengal. So the Biswa Bangla is one of the company which is promoting all these handcrafted goods, especially the GI goods from West Bengal. And this is from Chhattisgarh. Those who have seen Chhattisgarh can recognize this. This is from metal, the left side one, black color one, they do with the metal craft. And this is right side, it is from wood. All these are from Bastar area. Have you heard of this Bastar? It is quite popular nowadays because of some other reason. So it's popular maybe because of some other region, but it is all tribal area, and there are thick forest, and people are very artistic. If you go to that area, you can see all these different types of crafts which are quite popular, and they are registered. And now they have made the artisans village, where all these tribal people, artisans, they are living there, and they are manufacturing, producing all these, and they're trying to sell it. So another example I'm giving from, again, horticulture crop. In Karnataka, there are 3 different jasmines which are registered. One is popular Mysore jasmine, Mysore Mallige, Huvina Hadagali, that is from Ballari region. Hadagali is a place. Huvina Hadagali, the name itself, it represents, it is like the big ship of flower. Hoovu Hadagu, right? Huvina Hadagali, Mallige, the very fragrant jasmine. Then Udupi Mallige, it is also a very long flower, Udupi Mallige, Mangalore Mallige, otherwise we call it. So all these different types of jasmine, 3 different types of jasmine are, particularly produced in those areas, and they are registered under GI. So this Huvina Hadagali Mallige, this particular newspaper article, which says that the supporting financial benefits are given to the producers of this Huvina Hadagali Mallige to promote the business, to support the growers, the farmers. So government of Karnataka Horticulture Department, it is producing a supporting financial benefits to encourage them. And here in the map you can see the different geographical indications which are registered. This is old map. Now many more are added to this. And in the left hand side, this is from Northeastern Farm Sales Promotion, Niramac. They have registered this miso chili, then Naga tomato, tree tomato. I will tell you the story of tree tomato later. Then Sikkim cardamom, which is large cardamom. And also this is another chili, bird eye chili from Mizoram. So these are different kinds of agriculture goods from northeastern state which are registered and very nicely packed, and they are selling it. Okay, this is how the business is developing. And those who are involved in agriculture and processed food production, they can check this particular website. Many of you are from rural background, I guess. If you are from farmers background, you can check this particular website, APIDA. So there is a list of countries which are which require agriculture goods. So if you have that goods, you can check what are the parameters they are expecting, so that if you can meet those parameters, you can try for export promotion. India Trade Portal, which is very popular again, you can check country wise. There is a list. You can see here Bangladesh, Belgium. I could not take out the complete picture from the screenshot. So India Trade Portal, if you just type those, you will get this particular website, and you can check whether you can involve in the business. You can, what are the requirements from each country, what kind of goods and what is the quality and what are the parameters, certification marks you have to acquire for that. Then India trademarks, you see this is rose flower from Hosur, which is very recently, just I think 3 years back they got registered, and more than 2 years they are into business. Even they are doing online business. This the jasmine, the rose, all these are perishable commodities. In spite of that, they're so active. The producers group is so active. Very easily they could get registration. Easily means they have provided proper documentation, evidences very fast. They are very aggressive in the business, so they could do it, get the registration done, and already they are doing the export business and they are doing online business. And another one is Vishwesharaya Trade Promotion Center. They are also supporting this GI business awareness programs they are conducting. So those who are willing to get into business, they can contact them, and you can get into various training programs, awareness programs, and you can find out opportunities with them. And this particular picture is from Goa airport. So this is an outlet for, especially for GI, because there are many foreigners who land in Goa. This is one of the very popular tourist destinations for the Westerners. So to make them understand, to show them the worth of these goods, this is the right place. That's how they first initially started with GI store in Goa airport. So goods from all over India, GI registered goods, are available here in this particular shop outlet. So like this, they are planning to have this GI outlet even in Bangalore airport and even like Mumbai, Delhi. Because of this COVID, lockdown, it got delayed, but it will happen very soon. And there is another possibility like GI tourism. So this GI tourism is quite popular in Europe, and similar way it can happen here also, especially in Karnataka. If you start, like I told you, many tourists, they come to the land at uh, this Goa. They can very easily get into Karnataka, like they can visit Hampi, then they can move towards the south, Bangalore, Mysore, then go to this Madikeri. They can have different types of coffee there, like registered coffee goods, and they can go to Udupi, Mangalore. So this is one long line of possibility, geographical movement which they can take, and they can taste, they can understand different very unique goods that they can experience. So there is a possibility we can try for this. If somebody, it's a collective effort if it can happen. So these are some of the business prospects, there's possibilities. And in Kenya, the Maasai community, tribals, so they are doing this kind of activity. So each family, they have a central place in the market where they sell their craft products and cultural goods of this Manyata, that's the particular group. So they have made such, they have already shown such activities, and that's how they are showcasing their particular traditional arts, culture, and they are making a lot of business. So there is a possibility that here also we can highlight these particular goods, and we can attract the customer. So it is a business idea. And if you consider this particular art form, that is inlay work, Mysore rosewood inlay work. Now, it may not be in rosewood, it can be in any other wood, because over the period, either rosewood, sandalwood product, availability has decreased. But inlay work is still happening, and also registration of the individual, authorized users, which has happened. But the craft is still alive. So government is supporting them, giving them the area to live, a particular place for them to build their houses and live. That's a village kind of art, craft and village, so that they can practice collectively, they can source the raw material collectively, and a lot of training programs and awareness programs are given. And these websites, you can see that they are also into online training. And another example is this Mysore traditional painting. So this is quite popular. Mysore traditional painting. Generally, it will come with the goddesses, all these traditional pictures with outline of gold. This is quite popular. If you wish to see, you can online anyway. You can see, but go to any museum, government museum, like even Chitrakala Parishad, you can see this Mysore paintings, very huge Mysore paintings. So this is quite popular since the what years period, and this is registered, and now they are also doing business online. So the government has made a provision that they are giving artisan card. So this is the sample of application pro forma for ID card, and even SBI, State Bank of India, they are giving a kind of credit card, so they can avail some loan to start their business. So these are the possibilities. I'm saying that there are a lot of provisions up to 2 lakh. They can take a loan through this card, artisan card, and with the SBI card, and they can start thinking their own business. And to promote the art and craft for the next generation, so National Institute of Fashion Technology has announced that if you are the son or daughter of any artist, so there is a special provision for you for the admission. So this is how there are certain government programs which are giving importance for the arts and artisans. And very recently, Dr. Rajinikanth in his Twitter, he announced that So this GST will be only 5% if it is a GI registered goods. And this is one of the best example from Tripura. You have to sit with a map to see which goods is from which place, if you really want, if you are really interested to understand. So again, Tripura is a Bengal speaking state in the northeastern part of India. Okay. So pineapple is very, very popular there. The pineapple which you find in Tripura is very soft, very sweet. Generally, pineapple, what we find here is somewhat, sometimes it stings our tongue, right? And it is little sour also. That's how pineapple is popular as juice rather than cutting and eating it as fruit, right? But here the Tripura pineapple is very soft. It is called as queen pineapple. Okay. So when we went there for awareness program, this was brought, and later they filed the application, horticulture department, and the GI registration is given. They started practicing collective business practice, so they could able to find the customers outside the country also, and they started exporting it to Dubai and other Southeast Asian countries. So this is another example from Banaras. So these are the rakis, wooden rakis, which are quite popular. So during lockdown period, that they could not take out their business because continued lockdown. So, but more than 50,000 pieces were bought by defense, and it was sent to the people who are working in the borders. So even during the lockdown period, there were a lot of promotional activities which happened for the GI registered goods. Are you listening?
Yes, ma'am.
So may I continue?
Yes, ma'am, please.
Okay. So which is called Idu Mishmi textiles. So Idu Mishmis are the tribal people from Arunachal, from lower Dibang Valley, that is, very near to China border. So there are many tribes, more than 23 major tribes and other minor tribes, but Idu Mishmi is one of the major tribes who are residing in the Dibang Valley region. This when I was there for some other program, so there was a convention on biological diversity, and India is one of the signatory. Under that, I was supposed to do the documentation of biological resources. So I got the assignment to work in that particular area, and I was working with the people and documenting different types of grains, medicinal plants, and the domesticated animals, wild animals, all these things. This particular textile, it attracted my attention because I had been to other parts of the Arunachal also, have met other tribal people, and there especially in northeast, even starting from Assam or West Bengal, every household generally they will have they have the practice of weaving. Every household has a loom, but this particular weaving technique or style, the motifs, which was very attractive, and it is quite popular also. These are the PBRs we prepared there, and whoever visit Arunachal, they were given honored with the particular coat. So you can see very recently our Modi ji is also wearing that Idu Mishmi coat. This is war coat, and that he is a very popular actor. When he visited, they have given that coat as a, the affection and pride the tribal people they have given. And this particular weaving technique is quite popular and very attractive, and it is given as honor to people whoever visit that Arunachal Pradesh. So it is quite popular, and even after the project, when they continued communication with me, they were asking me, can we get patent for any of our goods? So there are of course a lot of many unique goods, special goods, but it should be popular also, right, for registration. So when I was verifying all these things, I could find out their weaving is quite popular and it has market value also. So I started talking to them about the registration. So they made a committee under the Idu Mishmi Cultural and Literary Society, and they asked me to guide the process. And we, had discussions with the local community people. We went to villages. Most of these pictures are quite dark because it is all tribal land, and in forested area there is no power, and even movement, that physical movement is quite difficult from one place to another place. So whenever generally ladies, they are quite busy during morning hours. Only during evening we could go and talk to them about the geographical indications, registration, and how to bring them under one banner to do the business. So all these things happen. So this is how we communicated with them. And when I started recording their more weaving patterns, designs, I was thinking this is very, very complicated. I see only geometrical patterns like something like diamond, lines, and very intricate colors, especially with black, red, then comes the white. So what is this geographical pattern, geometrical patterns they are representing? I could not understand how they originated these ideas. Later on, when continued to discuss, then they said, "Oh, you can see the first picture, Akua. So the black ants, when they're moving in a line, if you disturb them, this is how they disperse. And this is the pattern of the next one is the pattern of the wooden floor. Then the next one is the bamboo stocking, and next one ambo, it is the feather of a bird. And malio, they said, if you climb up the top of the hill and see the farmland down, this is how they appear. So I was thinking, what is this, how they could observe the nature like this and bring it into the form of weaving in the pattern of these geometrical designs. Because in their weaving there is no bird, flower, or even like human kind of pictures. It is only geometrical patterns. But this is how whatever nature they have observed in the nature, they could bring it in the form of weaving, and everything they represented in the form of dots and lines. So how our people do it here, like rangoli they do, right? So this is, but they don't have rangoli, but whatever their observation, they try to present it in the form of weaving textiles. And over the period, it has evolved so much. It has become so intricate, very bright, colorful. So this is how, if you try to think or even explore the history of one particular goods, you will understand many different things. It also expresses the emotions of a person, right? So while discussing about all this registration, finally we could, consider these textiles, and we could collect all the published informations, and we had to do the awareness program, because those people are, they are living in mountains and valleys in small pockets. Even sometimes there may be 3 or 4 houses in a village, hamlets there. So we have to do some radio programs about GI registration, the possibilities, consequences, and how it is done, what is the importance. So to create awareness, because bringing everybody into one particular hall or one particular place, conducting awareness program was impossible. We have to go from village to village. Then we have to write some article in the newspaper, do these kind of awareness activities. So later on, when we filed the application, and they were taken to Delhi for examination. This is the picture from Delhi office, Bodhik Sampad Bharat office. So they were quite happy. Examiners were quite happy with the application information, and there were other programs we conducted meanwhile. Like meetings we conducted, and how to, because these are the tribal patterns, and there is nothing much stitching there, because they just wrap around and they wear it as it is. But when it goes to the other parts of the country, some kind of stitching is required in the form of, in a wearable form, in other parts of the country. So training programs were conducted, and lot of modifications were brought. And also one student from Sushti's college of design, she worked there with the local community, understanding the patterns, designs, and what they want to do. If they want to, you know, um, bring to the mainstream market, what are the designs, patterns they can think of, how they can market it, with the calculations, design. So all these were done, and how they can link it to the mainstream market. So these are the work which was simultaneously done while when applied for registration. Then product improvement, which is very much required for any goods. So how to select the threads, color, because we can't when we say GI registration, we can't deviate from the original designs, or there cannot be major variation from what it is said as GI. Okay, so keeping that in mind about the colors, the motives, patterns, so how they can bring commonality among all the weavers. So what's the quality of the product, what should be the quality of the product. So for that, some consistency is very much required. For that, we involved again a specialist from textile, Dr. Hemlata. Then product design, okay, modified. You can see the modified waistcoat. It has become from wraparound. It has become waistcoat, because in other outside they can wear something like this skirt or a waistcoat, right? Bags they can wear. So these are the people who contributed for the cause, for the registration of the goods, the tribal community members. Because that point of time, though we tried initially with some textile department or tribal department, there was nothing much which happened, because to start somewhere, somebody should come forward, right? We need, for even it's a small project, we need somebody who can support. There should be a backup. So this is how these people has come for, community people come forward, they contributed for the cause. This is how it was taken forward. And later we started IP cell, intellectual property cell, to make people understand, develop awareness about not only GI, but even copyright, trademark registration. Because the whole idea behind this is to develop a business practice. So this is another example which I wish to bring it to your notice, because you are from biotechnology department, right? Hello.
Yes, ma'am, we can hear you.
So are you all from biotechnology department?
Yes, ma'am.
So okay. So you are aware about genetic engineering, right? And maybe you are now too much information is flooding everywhere because of this corona, COVID, lockdown, all these things. So there are certain things we need to understand when to do the research and how to take this research in a very proper way, amicable way. So because there are a lot of questions which arises in this particular era. Of course, genetic engineering is good, it is important, but is it necessary everywhere? That's the question we need to ask. So if we consider this particular example, why I'm bringing it to your notice is, earlier I showed you one picture about Miramax, how they are promoting agricultural goods. How they are promoting agricultural goods. Naga tree tomato is one of the registered goods from Nagaland. Tree tomato. Why I'm bringing it to your notice is, this particular tomato, which is grown on, tree, it can sustain for even 2 to 3 months. Even if you keep outside, I have seen this in market also. So you don't need any special packaging or refrigeration. Even outside, it can sustain, because the so even if you keep it outside, it can sustain. It is not a perishable commodity. It can sustain even for 2 to 3 months outside in normal temperature, room temperature. So it has a thick pectin. But the other tomato, the regular tomato, what you see is it is very soft, it is bright, colorful, and it is perishable. So early before this 1990s, there was a great demand for this long shelf life tomato. So they started with research to bring long shelf life for tomato. So how to get the tomato with long shelf life? Because when the ripening happens, when there is a ethylene synthesis, which is very much required for ripening. So from where the green color will turn into yellow, orange, and then red. So that is the basic understanding. That's how even today, if you have noticed, the ripening of even mango or even the banana, it is done with the fumigation. So that because of ethylene, ripening will happen. That's the common understanding. So this tomato was ripening very fast. To avoid that, to give a long shelf life, they try to reverse this particular gene sequence, which signal for ripening. Because during plucking, that is harvesting and transportation, damage was happening, and you know that if infection happens to one or two fruits, it will very easily spread, and there was a severe loss during this harvesting, transportation, loading, unloading, all these things. To avoid that, ripening has to be delayed. So this concept of flavor saver tomato is delay in ripening. So for that, if it is the gene sequence is from A to Z, so that particular gene sequence was reversed, it is made to Z to A, so that signal will not happen, so there will be delay in ripening. That's the general understanding. So the natural rotting of tomato can be reduced if we reverse that particular gene sequence. So it is called as anti-sense technology, because sense is from signaling A to Z. If we reverse that, if you make it from Z to A, then it will become anti-sense, it will not sense. So polygalactolase, which is the enzyme which is required for synthesis, so they made it into antisense so that they could delay in ripening of the tomato. But in the product was selling initially very well, but later it could not sell. It was withdrawn from the market because of the fact that there was something which happened, which is called a Puttadji's event. So Puttadji was a person who gave some interview in the news channel, and he said that he tried some of the potatoes which are genetically transformed, and he fed it into rats, and something happened to the rats. It, with the digestive system, all such things came into the news, because this potato, tomato, all these belong to the same family. People found it is not good to use this. So immediately the market was withdrawn. Okay, so because of this, what happened, this flavor saver tomato could not do well, and production also ceased in 1997. So whatever, however, $1 million was spent for this particular research, production, marketing, so everything was a failure. Why I'm bringing it to your notice is, if we can get something like Naga tree tomato, whatever, so why we cannot promote it? This is naturally occurring. There is no genetic engineering involved. Only thing is, you should uh, develop the awareness about this particular tree tomato. You can propagate it and you can bring it to the mainstream market, instead of going all the way for this, something like flavor saver tomato. Similar example I could find with this Mattugulla brinjal, Udupi ಬದನೆಕಾಯಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ, green color. So this is very popular. Even today, if you go in Bangalore to Mangalore stores, you can find this Mattugulla brinjal. You can find this. This is quite popular, and it is said even in the Udupi temple, it is served as prasadam. So this is one of the GI registered goods, and you know the story of BT brinjal. So this crystal proteins were introduced into the BT brinjal so that it will not allow further infections from the caterpillar, because caterpillar is the main causative agent which was destructing this brinjal production. So to improve the brinjal production, they had to kill the caterpillar. Okay, otherwise caterpillar will eat away all the fruits and plants. So there was a lot of loss. So keeping that in mind, they started introducing crystal protein into the plant. Okay, Criven from Bacillus thuringiensis. That's how the name BT brinjal has come. But research happened at several places, and finally they could bring it. But there was a severe, opposition for the commercial release of BT brinjal because of various reasons, right? So if my question here is, if there is something called this Matugula brinjal or whatever, why can't we promote this? Why we have to go for this BT? So finally, it is says it's a business, right? So commercial cultivation was not allowed in India because of severe agitation. There are reasons are many, like it has these are promoted by companies called Monsanto, which is an international business agencies, and they said that local varieties were used for this particular to bring this particular variety, BT brinjal. So that's how, and they're modifying the path of evolution by gene therapy, or reintroducing the gene from one organism to another organism. They're modifying path of evolution. So these are the controversies around this. So that's how it was not allowed. But later in Bangladesh it was allowed. So Philippines, Bangladesh, poor countries, they can introduce anything, right? So this is how there is a major problem which happened, and it was not allowed. My request to you is, if you can find something like this which is local, indigenous, very popular, authentic, why can't we promote this, right? So there should be some kind of involvement in this, because you are all from a science background, or you can even think about the business. It is very important for the science people to think about, understand the economics, business, so that you can take the right path. Of course, everybody wish to earn money, be safe, secure, right? Do something, achieve something. But we need to think about what is the best way, what is the ethical way of doing the business. We all are aware of this Chanpatna toys. In the beginning itself, somebody identified in a toy as a Chanpatna toy, right? So it is very popular. It is produced only in the Chanpatna region, and the government has provided some facility. It is called central facility. They have given lathes, and they are they are giving even procuring the raw material. But the raw material is depleting because it's a natural source. Rhytia tinctoria is one of the wood which is very popular, which is soft wood, which is required um, to manufacture these wood, toys. Because people are giving more importance for the real estate. So where is the forest? Where are the trees? If we don't think about the natural resources and sustainable utilization of natural resources, then we may have to lose any of these very soon. So this is my presentation to you. So if you have any questions, you can ask me.
Participants, if you have any queries, please you can unmute yourself and you can ask your questions, or you can post it in the chat box.
May I close the presentation?
Yes, ma'am.
Good morning.
You can open the camera also, so that at least we can see who are all there participating.
Ma'am, if you can hear me.
Sure.
Ma'am, the presentation was really wonderful. You have given bird's eye view on the geographical indication in layman's time. It's a very beautiful presentation. Ma'am, I had one question.
Please.
Ma'am, you mentioned something with respect to this Huvina Hadagali Mallige, right? That the government has given some amount of compensation or some financial support to grow this particular flowers. My question to you is there any royalty provided by the government for the all the registered GIs, like for all the geographical indication products? Is the government providing some sort of royalty or some sort of financial support?
Yes, because these GIs are, what can I say, that this is the real, wealth of this country.
Yes.
I can't say whether it belongs to you, me, or someone else, but this is the real wealth of this country. So, if people are here who can read Kannada, I request you to read a book by Dr. K.N. Ganeshaya. There are many books, but one particular book, which is called Karisiriyana. If you can note down, if you can read Kannada, please read books by Dr. K.N. Ganeshaya and one book, Karisiriyana. The major wealth of this country are not just spices or even the precious stones like, diamond. There are many things, many things. So you can even visit some of the major markets of this country, like Allahabad market, or even Trivandrum market. You can see. So these are the real wealth of this country. So under the name of Made in India now, so they are trying to promote the art, craft, culture. So just because in the West they are into something like genetic engineering or some kind of technology, we don't have to get into that. So whatever strength we have, we need to understand our strength. Why people from these Western countries, they tried to find the sea route when the land route was bad, because this is one of the richest country that point of time and even today. Only thing is we need to understand our richness. If we don't understand, very soon we will lose it. Already we have lost many things. Something is sitting in the museum of London or New York. Then further we will lose it. Very soon it will become something like what is happening in the Middle East. So if we understand the strength of country and the resources which are available, we can grow throughout the year here. Can you grow throughout the year in Europe or in North America? You can't do basic agriculture there. Maximum 3 to 4 months you can do the agriculture. But here, throughout the year, you can keep growing. But when so much resources even it is available today, we need to understand, secure it, and promote it. For what? For our sustainability, our survival, right? Whatever we are doing, as being human beings, we are just consumers. We are consuming everything. We are not like any other animal or plants. We are consumers, but we should have some limitation to our consuming, trend, and we have to find the sustainability. And these are our experiences from our ancestors are the real strength, the art, craft, culture, whatever. So we need to continue with that to prospect.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
And this is one of the, like you must have heard about Gamcha from Assam. So this is under registration for Gamcha. This is one of the traditional art form, right? So we have many different things like that. Either it is food, craft, agricultural goods. We need to understand the strength, the quality, and to promote.
Align or Mohit. Good morning, madam.
Good morning.
Audible, ma'am.
Could you repeat?
Ma'am, I'm Dr. Sumana from Hiriur. I'm working as assistant professor in microbiology. Your presentation was very good, madam.
Thank you.
Hear me, ma'am?
Yes, yes.
Your presentation was very good, madam.
Thank you.
It was very informative. And may I know, even there are several other flowers or fruits are being done as GI tag. For example, Appemidi is also one of the fruit.
Yes.
Is it being tagged, madam, GI?
Yes, already it is there. You can visit the IP India website.
Okay.
You can all visit the IP India, Intellectual Property Rights India. If you give that search in Google, IP, okay, Intellectual Property India, that particular website, you will can find. If you go to GI, okay, in the drop down menu, if you select GI, you can see the list of registered goods. Okay.
Fruits. Okay, ma'am. Fruits and flowers, all the commodities. Only fruits. Okay.
No, registered
any
goods. Goods, I'm telling. So all the registered goods, either it can be flower, fruit, even like Nagpur orange, you can find out. Okay.
Oh,
So all the registered goods, Appe Midi mango, which is registered, Mattugulla brinjal registered. So all the registered goods, even food items like Tirupati laddu, which is registered. Now the Rasagulla from Bangladesh, West Bengal, which is registered, Orissa, which is registered. So all these goods, the list with the complete application details, you can find out.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Madam, from startup perspective, if you want to sell our GI tagged goods,
yes,
what is the procedure for it?
Like any other business, you have to find the real producers. So as I told you, in the IP India website, you can find the authorized users. Okay, that I showed you about some of the examples like Mysore inlay painting, inlay work, or Mysore paintings. That screen, that print screen I have taken, and I have shown you the home page. Pictures I have shown you. So if you go there to it depends on what kind of business you want to. If you want to source only the commodities like paintings, crafts, or if you are interested in food and beverages, okay, you have to choose which products, or you want to keep everything, okay, like Goa GI shop. So it depends. So if you want to be a business person, you have to individually find out who are the authorized users. Do you get the genuine product from them? What is the quality and what is the quantity you can procure from them? So you can, like any other licensing person, you have to get into the business. And MSME you can contact. I think you are all aware about MSME programs. You can go to MSME website, check what are the training programs they are conducting, and what is there is a slab, so you can avail 25 lakhs up to 1 crore. You can avail the supporting finances from MSME based on the kind of industry that you are going to develop happen. And if you are women entrepreneur, there is a special category. Even to file any patent or GI application, there is a special category. If you want to file, there's a different track. If you are a women member, and there are special training programs for women also, where they will teach you starting from bookkeeping, like accounts, how you can maintain the accounts, where you will get the target customers, and how you can improve your individual business qualifications, like understanding banking system, understanding calculations, where you can promote your goods, including soft skills. So there are training programs which are available. So if really somebody is interested, you can contact VTPC, Vishweshwara Trade Promotion Center, directly, or MSME you can contact directly, or in any case, if you want to file the application, any kind of application, you can contact KSCST Bangalore, that is in IAC campus, but through website you can contact anybody. They are all informing you very immediately. As long as they get the query within 1 or 2 days, they will inform you. They will give you the information, detailed information.
So no special permission is required to have an exclusive GI shop in any state, right?
No, special permission is not required.
Not required.
No,
It is the discussion or understanding between the shopkeeper and the producer.
Yes, if
right?
you are getting the source material from an authorized registered user. So for example, if you say GI shop, each and every goods or the unit which is sold in that is GI tagged. GI tag. And GI tag means it says that the place of origin and who is the manufacturer. If he is a registered person, then you can happily, if with the proof, you can sell it. There is a possibility.
So that association they have to touch and they have to
Yes.
take the product from them. And any
Yes.
exclusive such shops are there in Karnataka? It sells only the GI products.
Generally, you can get most of the GI goods from Karnataka in Kaveri Emporium.
But horticulture oriented things you don't get in Kaveri Emporium.
No,
Only
no.
artistic things are there.
Yes.
But so far no attempt is made from Opcom or any other agency to sell the GI crafts.
No, not like that. But Appamidi Mango, they are doing very good business. They are promoting. Even Kamalapur Kembale, they are doing very good business. So the individual groups, they are very active, and they could find out their even market at the national and international level on their own. They are doing. But under one umbrella, like GI store, it is not coming. Only the art and craft it is coming up because it's a perishable commodity. Maybe investor is not ready for that.
Okay, participants, if any of you are interested to have your own GI shop, especially the people who are located in tourism places, it is a good opportunity for all you people to have an exclusive GI shop because nowadays more and more awareness is getting created through GI crafts, and you people can approach BTPC as Madam said. Prabhavati Madam is very kind enough and supportive. If any of you want to have any further information, you can go to VTPC or you can talk to Dr. Gopinath, who is heading MSME, so he will also help. And of course, you have our Madam Nandini Madam. So if any of you want to, or if any of you want to convey this message to your students, from the startup point of view, so there is a lot of opportunity for you people. You can explain it to your students to have their own business and entrepreneurship from the GI perspective. Hope this session brought you some kind of awareness on GI and startup and bioinnovation opportunity for GI oriented commodities. Hope this session has brushed your knowledge and improved your knowledge. From Ashwa College of Engineering and from the organizing committee and from the participant sides, I wholeheartedly thank Dr. Nandini Madam for taking her precious time and coming over here and explaining or highlighting the importance of GI crafts and business opportunities in GI crafts. Thank you very much, Madam. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Especially for women, if you can note down Awake, this particular center is in Rajaji Nagar, AWAKE Awake. It is a center for training, awareness. So anything related to business, if ladies, especially women who are willing to learn, they can visit Awake. There is a website also. Or personally, you can go, you can register yourself. They keep sending you information about upcoming training programs. Either it is related to bank, how they promote different kinds of bank, promote different kind of activities, or improving soft skills, or anything related to accounts related taxation. So all these, or even something technical training program, including not only GI, even something like a bakery or any other thing. If you want to start, they will give all the related information. So thank you very much for inviting me. I hope it was useful, the information which is provided, we have shared. Thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am. Once again, on behalf of the principal, director, staff, and students of the Department of Biotechnology, the Oxford College of Engineering, participants, we are officially, with the kind consent of the convener, we are officially closing the session 1 of today's. So please do join us back for the session 2 at 11:30. Thank you.